And there it goes. So that's the Death Star. I don't know if you know this. And the Endor was
Did you put a question in your thesis?
No, I haven't done that. I just no. All right, so here we go.
You said you were starting with a thesis.
I'm
So you
starting
started
with
a
the
question.
thesis. No, I was like,
You asked them if they knew what it was.
Yeah. This is the engagement portion. This is the hook.
Oh, I forget who we're talking to.
This is the finding out portion. So, Endor, Death Star. Here's the thing. My argument today is, depending upon your generation, you have a different thought process on whether or not the Death Star should have been blown up.
That's a pretty strong thesis here, buddy.
That is. Now, is it? No, hold on. Are you saying it's a strong thesis? Isn't like it's you see a lot of merit to the question, or are you saying it's a strong thesis because it's something we could argue about for a while?
I don't know. It depends on how that goes.
Okay. So since you are ages older than I am, like
he's just mad because I've actually seen all three in the original forms on the big screen.
And he's just mad because he could have been retired several years ago. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Creating the conflict early, I see.
Conflict must be there. So I argue that your generation is too Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers.
Not to blow it up. And my generation is just angsty enough to say, well, we really shouldn't have. I mean, Clerks taught me how I should think about the movie Clerks taught me how I should feel about the explosion of the first Death Star. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know? And then, like, the second Death Star is even worse. As the thesis goes in Clerks, there's all sorts of construction crews and possibly, like, independent contractors. Although I highly doubt that, since it's a military project.
Independent contractors on a military...
Who's going to put in the turlets? Who's going to put in the turlets?
Engineering.
Moncal. I'd rather have Moncals do my plumbing. I don't care if I'm a racist imperial guy. I want the Moncals doing my plumbing. So you make your argument for why the Death Star should have been blown up.
In which movie?
Which one do you want to do? You want to do one
Star
or two?
Wars? One or two?
Sorry, the first Death Star or the second? Death Star 1, Death Star 2.
Pick one. I don't care. Because they both need to go.
No.
I don't care. Okay, this is going to sound bad, but I don't care if there's independent contractors in the thing. You're working for the bad guys.
You know Death Star 2 was bigger, right?
Yeah.
Let's go with Death Star 1, which I feel was a completely military operation.
Okay, we have that.
And a secret military operation.
And can we just do it from...
Oh, wait, they used prison labor. Andor taught us they used prison labor.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with that one.
As historians, should we not go, of course they did. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't you use prison
it's
labor?
maybe not something you bring up in the 70s, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the first time it's brought into play here, but...
Oh, wait, real quick parameters. Should we bring in all the stuff we know from Rogue One and Andor? Or does that stay out because that would color your perception?
No, because I'm rational enough to understand when I first saw it, and the thought was, and then all of the great backfill that the new people are putting into this. I mean, into this with Andor and Rogue One, and
let's agree on that. That's been some top-notch lore fill.
Yeah,
I mean they've been,
I think it's almost just as much for, as you said, my generation, who might have not got into the books, in the comic books, and maybe knew some of those stories. I mean, we all knew that there were supposed to be 9 of these movies at some point. We all knew that Lucas had a prequel in mind and
he chose the middle 3.
Yeah, he chose the middle 3 because one, they were the easier ones to do.
Yeah,
and
conflict's already built in.
Yeah, so
you got to have conflict.
But no, because you'd be rational enough to realize, okay, and when it first comes out, under the premise that it might not have a sequel anyways, nevertheless, this almost going close to a 50-year life it's going to have rolling now. That was the entire goal. I mean, we got, how many sequences do we get that Death Star's on range within 5 minutes?
The Death Star, his one job
is to count down how close he's going to get annihilated. Yeah.
Hey guys, Death Star's in range in 7 minutes, and you're like, dude, we could have just gotten Alexa.
Right.
But his name was like Trip Jafter or something like that. Trip Jafter, the douchebag. No one ever asked him to either. He's just doing this to make people feel better.
Exactly.
He's just like,
we're all going to die in 4 minutes.
Hey guys, just wanted you to know, shut up, Trip. Nobody. He's my new headcanon hero.
You think Trip is just kind of off in the back, trying to, get it to where maybe he can find a girl to make out with?
Oh, dude, I think
maybe we only got 3 minutes left.
I think he shot his shot with Leia, or was about to, and here comes this rogue, and he's like, "That's Han Solo."
Yeah.
Man,
I'm done. Fine, you're gonna die in 4 minutes.
So Trip Jafter's like, "Thank God the Death Star will be in range in 5 minutes. No more of this crap." Dear Lucasfilm,
no, I don't.
Here's Trip Jafter. Here's your new series. Trip Jafter, Galactic Loser. He's always just behind where he needs to be. Like
Napoleon Dynamite.
He's God, guys, 4 minutes. Anyway, so you said it had to be done. Why?
Because it's the culmination of Star Wars, of the movie Star Wars. Sorry for all you that don't understand. Star Wars was the first one. That was the title of
The
it.
New Hope. A New
Right.
Hope.
That was the whole culmination of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get to see it through Kenobi's eye. We get to see it through Solo's eye, right? And He's going for that small moon. That's no moon. That's a space station.
That's impossible.
Holy crap! How they make that thing? Right.
So first off, let's give credit to the Empire for completely building this thing in absolute secret, which is hard to do. That's clearly a military operation, so it's only military contractors on there.
Yeah.
Also, though, to be fair, space is big. I don't know if you're aware of that.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
It's pretty big.
And apparently there's, multi-universes now in space. So
No. Multi-galaxies.
Galaxies.
We're multi-galactic.
Yeah. Apparently there's that going on, too. So not exactly sure.
So
But yeah, you can hide that. You can stick it out there. Call it a mining accident. The first time it accidentally, purposely blows up.
Jeddah? Jeddah?
Mining accident.
Mining accident that, collapses the entire city of Jeddah?
Well, yeah.
On the lowest setting. Put it down to 1.
Another one.
Ooh. Dang. Maybe we should put it down to half. Sounds like Count Rugen from The Princess Bride. Since this is our first test, I'm going to set it on the lowest setting.
Yes.
Down to 1. I've just blown up Jeddah.
So it has to go at the end of the movie. It has to. How else would you end Star Wars? How would you end that movie without blowing up the Death Star?
Me? You're asking me what my head?
Yeah. How would you have done it?
Oh, I would have let him blow up. I would have let him blow up Yavin.
Yeah, but if the movie flops, then you got this open end, and you don't have a.
Oh no, dude! You blow up Yavin, and the plucky starfighters that are left.
Then nobody can. Once in space, that's it. Everybody else is gone.
You think that all of the
and then we lose Leia. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Look who you just killed. Right? We can do without. The only
one I'm worried about is Trip Jafter.
We can do without the rest of the jackpots, but Star Wars without Carrie Fisher?
Oh, Star Wars without Carrie Fisher, or Star Wars without Princess Leia?
6 of one.
Half dozen of the other. What's your point?
Because she plays the plague. Let's see. Let me see if I can put this in a sense that you'll maybe understand. 1983.
Okay.
1983.
Oh, yeah.
What do we get to see in 1983 for Star Wars kids?
Oshkosh Bagosh?
No, we get to see Leia in a bikini.
Well, how old were you in 1983?
I would have been 9 or 10.
So 9 or 10-year-old Schnetty is like, my goodness. Now, my hormones haven't kicked in yet, but something in my mind, something in the Force tells me this is going to be important. The fact that important. And then no part of your brain was like...
Have we not all learned from listening to Carrie Fisher? They don't wear bras in outer space?
Well, here's my question. What point of your 9-year-old self is sitting there going, oh, hell yeah.
I have 2 older cousins.
Oh. I had like 1 older cousin.
Yeah. I had 2 older male cousins. Yeah. It was
an older female cousin.
Yeah. It was a few magazines shared around.
What, Topps Baseball World?
Yes, that makes. There were tops involved.
Oh my God. And that's how we got fired. But the thing there is,
So yeah, you say thanks a lot for killing off Leia. That's
so
awesome.
when I first
Well,
really
yeah.
saw Star Wars, my dad would watch it when it came out, but like when we finally got it on home video or it came on TV and I could watch Star Wars. I remember I was about 9 or 10 years old. And first off, it's a longer movie than you can ever think, right?
It's about
you always almost 2 hours and 12 hours.
Yeah, 2:15-ish, 2:12, and then obviously if you watch the regular TV, they back then they'd cut it to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right now, if you watch it on TNT or TBS or FX, they extend it to 2:45.
Yeah,
so you don't miss anything.
ads.
And then whatever Lucas threw in the '90s is now in those movies too.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But we're sitting there and we're watching it. Actually, so I watched it when I was about 9 or 10, and between the time I was 9 or 10, the time I was 16 years old, when we watched it to discuss the hero's journey in my humanities class, I memorized the entire movie.
Which hero?
The hero with 1,000 faces.
No, which Star Wars hero?
Oh, Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Luke Skywalker hero's journey. We're using that as a thing.
Okay.
Between that and that, so my credentials are I can see that. But by the time I get to there, the question comes up from Clerks is, what about all the other people? There can't be all these military people on there. There's got to be other people as well. The custodial staff, as you sent me a video of. The waste management. There's Dianogas on there that I don't know if they're actually supposed to be there.
Maybe they're prison labor.
The Dianogas, the creatures in the trash compactor?
Oh, no.
You that's like space waste pickup.
Yeah, okay, well, okay.
I'm just saying, why
Animals die in war, dude. Animals die in war.
Nobody talks about the Ottoman
casual-
killing of all the deer.
There's civilian casualties in war.
But
I mean, I know it's 2024 and we're all fluffiness and feel good and we got to be mad because, civilians die, but civilians die in war.
Understandable, but this is horrible. I mean, civilians die in war. Yeah, Alderaan got blowed up.
Yeah, exactly. Payback's a bitch.
But do you solve the problem?
You killed Jimmy Smits.
Don't ever kill. You can't kill Jimmy Smits.
He was on Alderaan.
Not in my head canon. Sitting there next to Trip Jafter. Bale shaved his mustache and
egging him on. Go for it. Try again.
Try again. She's
my daughter.
She's playing hard to get.
I've seen this before.
But
no, dude, she told me she really likes you.
Bail Organa's just a really big jerk. Nobody notices it. So I'm sitting there saying that the sheer amount of resources made in the Death Star means that you have plunged a huge catastrophic economic downturn.
Yeah, and then you blow it up if you're the rebels. And look at all the money they wasted because we could take it out with 2 torpedoes and an exhaust tube.
I quote the dorkly bits that talked about the Imperial engineer. Do you know what an exhaust port is? Mr. I know card. What is an exhaust port?
So it doesn't blow itself.
So it doesn't blow itself
up
up.
the inside, right?
6 to 1. It's like, well, we can put some shields around it or something. Maybe when the bad guys are coming down the trench, you put shields up.
Well, how about not put your fighter planes in fighter planes?
Well,
your TIE fighters in the trench with it, so you stop firing your deck guns.
I quote, the guns, they've stopped. Why have the guns stopped?
Because Vader said, stop, I got this.
He didn't got this.
He got everybody but his own son.
So you're telling me the Vader's got this until the large freighter comes out of nowhere and goes,
and shoots him off the side. Woo!
What?
It's a fantasy movie.
Oh, do not know. No. You and I know it's no longer a fantasy movie. You and I now know
that it
is 100% arguable. It is deleterious. I think the rebels would probably have been censured. I mean, half the planets were turning. I'm telling you,
you want to go.
The propaganda for the Empire writes itself.
Here becomes the propaganda minister.
The propaganda for the Empire writes itself.
Aaron Scherzer, propaganda minister. Go.
There you go. Just calling me out on the internet. I'm fine. Although if there are any dictators looking for a propaganda master, I have my resume available. Now you see, propaganda minister. My apologies. The propaganda writes itself. Is your country is your planet completely in a downturn? That's because we no longer, everything got blowed up, all the stuff we worked on.
Yeah.
Or am I thinking of that economically wrong? They've already paid for it, didn't they? Did they? No, they wouldn't have. It's a military project. They wouldn't have
Pay
paid
for
for it.
anything.
They'd have
Build
pulled
it.
for it.
Yeah.
But that's still a huge amount of
Approved from
resources
who?
lost.
Because they would never got approved because it was all done in secret.
No, Tarkin I got it approved.
Yeah,
Tarkin,
by the Emperor.
who was cool.
It's all black ops. It's like the U.S. inventing the stealth bomber
We invented the stealth bomber?
in the 70s.
What?
They were working on it in the 70s, right? Same concept. We just put it out in the middle of nowhere. You think we're paying $4 million for a hammer? No, damn it. We bought missiles to put on the Death Star.
We could have definitely used. Why didn't we have missiles on the Death Star? Oh my gosh, Shetty, why didn't we have missiles on the Death Star? That would have
because we
solved the
got
problem.
space
real quick.
lasers.
Space lasers, nothing. A couple of good proton torpedoes locked onto an X-wing. Problem solved.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. This thing, my generation grows up. Of course, it's also the anti-establishment thing of you like your stories, but we're going to do deconstructionist Star Wars.
Anti-establishment of the 90s, yeah. Woo! You guys are really, really into. No, let's take down.
We gave you guys very mean looks.
Yeah, exactly.
But the deconstructionist theories of the 90s, should we have blown up the Death Star? And the answer is, ultimately, what else could we have done? But at the same time, we could have used it more as a rallying point.
Well, it goes around blowing up planets?
Yep. There's a lot.
There we go. Let's blow up and kill innocent people and go, that's why we should be mad. We should be mad they have that. Let's not fly something in there and destroy it like we did the first time. No, because that generation was too war hawkish, so we can't have that. So let's see if we can talk to the nice old bastard and get him to change his mind.
Here's
You
my
know, the
question.
guy that wanted to fry Yoda and threw Mace out a window.
Here's another question then. Well, bless his heart. Mace, I don't think Mace is dead. Anyway, so there's my conspiracy theory. Mace is still alive. So looking at the second Death Star on the screen.
Sam's getting older every year.
Oh, don't tell me that. That hurts my heart. Looking at that second Death Star, do you think they fixed the exhaust port problem, like shielded it and stuff? They're super excited about it, and then the Emperor's like, "All right, let's do this fully armed and operational." It's like, "No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. The back end's hanging out. What are you doing?"
Hanging out.
But I'd like to think of the team that was like, "Okay, guys? Let's go back to the
But
drawing
if you think
board."
about it, all you need fully operational is the laser.
Say that again so I can mock you.
That's all you need is the laser to be operational.
All you need is the laser to be operational.
How are you going to blow up planets without the laser operation?
How are you going to blow up planets if your gunners don't have oxygen?
You don't need the gunner. You just need that to work.
You don't need the gunner.
You need the inverted satellite to work.
I need this to be written down somewhere in stone.
It's hit a button. Dude, the dude threw a switch.
Not.
The dude threw a
It
switch.
is not
The
just
dude
hit a
got
button.
a sound for it. No, the dude throws a switch.
You want to talk about space fantasy? Here, I pulled this switch
That's
up.
exactly. Go to the first movie, find it. Go to the story. The guy goes like this in here, and then you see the green things
Schnetty.
coming on there.
Which guy? There's 4 gunners.
Yeah.
And they're all like flicking switches and doing
And then
power
the one
levels.
guy goes, and
When
then all of a
they've
sudden
got
the laser comes on.
everything primed, what the hell?
So you need 4 dudes to flip switches.
We got one guy sitting there
And
going,
they're here in the completed part.
he's jumped up and he's now circling the complete the
And you got the
nubbin,
nuts down there somewhere doing
the
something.
Death Star nubbin with his finger. It's weird as hell. No, it was a whole team. You need power regulation, and then you need to have fun.
Yeah, it's apparently it's all working. You
and
don't
you need an
asset
exhaust
for that.
port for all that energy that's being
No, you don't.
expended.
Look how open you are. You don't need an exhaust port.
You are an exhaust port.
You're exhausting yourself. That's
And
how you get around.
if you
it.
look down at the bottom right, you're like, what was there? Was that like the living accommodations and people are just like in a like crappy
hanging,
little
off,
apartment?
hanging off the edge.
Hanging off the edge.
Hey, look at me. I'm on the edge.
Well, there's that one. I'm sure there's somebody's done a cartoon of this, and if not, they definitely need to. Of just like a guy eating a sandwich and like sees a bunch of ships pop out of hyperspace and goes, "What the hell is going?" Hey, Frank, get Trip on the phone. What the hell's going
I need
on?
to know.
Because
How much time is left?
Trip like defected.
Yeah, he changed sides.
He changed sides.
Your job goes, I can do countdowns very well.
You can. We have a place for you in the Empire.
Go see Dolores in HR.
Go see Dolores in HR. Trip Jafter, second lieutenant. Or no, wait, sorry, we're in the Empire, second lieutenant. So, but So theoretically, you're better at this than I am. What would happen to the economy if the Empire spent all that money and all that time and all that manpower on the Death Star and it blowed up? What would that do? What would the repercussions of that be?
What do you mean? Wait, like if it blew up on its own?
No. If it blew up because it was blown up.
Well, it devastates the Empire, but it devastates it more militarily because now they don't have their wonder weapon. This is their wonder weapon, right? This is the one that's done in secret. This is the one that in Nazi style would have been built underground, right? Like they did with the Messerschmitts, right? They built those underground, right? The V2 was built underground before taken out and tested, right? This is their wonder weapon built in the outer rims of the galaxy, right? Where we're not going to find, where it's not going to be taken care of. And we're going to do it in little parts here and little parts here, and then move them around, right? And again, yes, we're bringing in some of the newer stuff to fill in those gaps, right? But look how quickly they're able to rebuild the second one, right? The first one's going to be devastating, but you've kind of shown the power. Look, we can do this. And in Star Wars, it's the last gaffe ever. If they don't do it right, if they blow up Yavin, the rebellion's done, right? And it's akin to the Nazis getting the nuclear bomb first.
They had the deployment method as well.
Yeah, it'd be akin to what would have happened if they got it first. What if Einstein doesn't write Roosevelt, and Roosevelt does what Roosevelt does, and Oppenheimer takes the crew out to New Mexico and does that. Now, how far ahead they were in that, who knows? But it's the same kind of concept. If we can't get rid of that, we're all screwed. And they make some kind of reference to that in the movie. I remember, but that's their last gaffe ever. They're where they need to be. The bigger argument is what's the deal? And this is the plot hole that a lot of people like to point out. If Leia's so sure they're tracking the ship, why does she take them to Yavin, where everybody's at? Because when they escape, she goes, well, they're tracking us, and Solo goes, not this ship, sister, right?
Ooh.
Why did they go to Yavin then?
Why don't they just stop off somewhere first and
check out for the tracking device, right? Find an asteroid, go inside a cave.
No, there's go in there and get asteroid worms. You get asteroid worms. You don't want to do that. You get asteroid worms.
Right. That's the bigger plot hole that as I get older, you don't think about too much, right?
Why did she take them immediately there? Did she want to force a confrontation?
Yeah, I mean that's the play, right?
But they already had the plan, though. How could they? Wait, they didn't have the plan.
No, she had to take the plans there.
No. The plan was snub fighters. So you're telling me instead of taking the data and thinking about it for a while, the snub fighters idea was a last ditch. Maybe this will work.
Well, no, why not stop with the Falcon somewhere, find the freaky tracking device, take the damn thing off the damn Falcon, and then go to Yavin to figure out the data that R2's got stored to defeat that thing. Well, why go directly there?
Well, also to be fair,
is it a time thing?
I think it's a time.
I think it's a time. We are in the fastest ship in the galaxy.
You are, yes, but
take parsecs off of everything.
Parsecs are lengths, not no. So it's not important. So he is the fastest, right? Or he says it is the fastest. He also said there's not a tracking device on this ship. Let's say
we got proof in one of your new favorite Star Wars movies that it is the fastest ship in the galaxy.
It's not that it's fast. It's
it can get there faster.
Well, no. He plotted the jumps so well that it's not so much a speed
thing.
No.
It's a time thing.
No, it's not even a time thing. It's a length thing. Like he could go so close to
that makes you fast. You get there quicker.
Okay,
it's faster.
So, yeah.
It's a misunderstanding of Solo's fast. It's a 70s misunderstanding. It's a non-science understanding of fast. We think speed. No. Distance.
He's talking about finding if you're looking at this big giant room, what's the fastest way from this corner to that corner, and it's a straight line. But let's say there's a straight line with a bunch of people with bats. What's the safest, fastest way? So we'll go with that. If he stops, and it could probably take an hour, 2 hours to search, especially with an irregular hull like the Falcon. Where's he going to set down? Does he set down in a populated area? that just means they have to get, the tracker pops means on the nearest
So you
Imperial
go
thing.
and she does it to force their hand. Then
Well, no,
bring that big bad boy.
there's
here
no
and
other way
let's
they
go.
could do it. No matter where they track them, the second they stop, that ping goes. They're pinging. They're already tracking them the second they go up into hyperspace. The second they point a direction in hyperspace, there's only so much the galaxy they can go to.
Yeah. There's only a couple.
So
of
we've
ways
narrowed
you
it
go.
down, and once we hear that thing ping in, we're going to be there because they're tracking them. It doesn't matter where they go. Even if it's not the Death Star, it's going to be a bunch of Star Destroyers in the area. There's nowhere safe to stop. Even in the middle of nowhere.
Then how is Yavin the safest place? If there's because I mean they go to
Yavin's the
Yavin,
safest place because they gotta
but they had enough time to break it down and go. We found the exhaust port. Now let's get that Luke go through some.
So let's talk about that's the thing that I think is the biggest problem. It's not so much. I think she was forced. Her hand was forced. It's the fact that they can get the data and then decipher. Well, no, we talked. Then we got to bring. That's kind of what they fixed in with Rogue One.
Yeah,
I've sent you where the thing is. Here's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And I imagine that Galen Erso would have probably told them an idea. Small fighters would do it. What's the strength of the rebellion? Small fighters.
Yeah.
It's Britain during the Battle of Britain.
Yeah,
What's your strength? Fighters.
Yeah.
Hide them in the barns. Hide them in the hay.
That has to go. In the first one, it has to go. In Star Wars, it has to go.
Okay.
Right, because you're that's how you end that movie. It's the whole because you're not sure.
Mhm.
Right? 20th Century Fox is so damn sure they gave the sequel rights to George Lucas, right? This ain't gonna make any money. They definitely ain't gonna make a second movie of this, right? There's no way.
You
right?
shoot your shot. Literally.
It's a nice little tidy story,
Mhm.
except for the guy that goes whirly birding out of the trench, right? And the Emperor's not on the Death Star.
He just looked annoyed, didn't
Yes,
he?
son of a
Man.
God. There was just enough left there that you could have a sequel with, right?
Or if there isn't a sequel, everyone knows that Darth Vader died in the cold depths of space.
Yeah, we make that assumption.
Well, at least it's not sad. Things like that.
It's itchy. It's everywhere.
Of course, that's rough.
But okay, so you want to go to Jedi, and do we got to blow this up again? Well,
We've blown up the shield generator.
yeah, which means now it's open. But if that thing can still, that thing starts taking out ships.
It took out a whole Mon Cal Star Cruiser without even blinking.
Yeah.
And then
I'd be scared if that thing actually blinked, though. Little thing comes out. And then on the lid it says, "We see you."
Oh God, that'd be weird. I can see your house from here.
Sarah.
Hold on, now we got Death Star announcements. Boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rebel fleet has appeared, and in other news, it is Meatloaf Night for half the Death Star, and it's Veggie Night for the other half. You just
Yeah.
So, when you build it again, and you build it bigger, and you build it stronger,
Yeah.
that's going to take another huge amount. This is only what? How many years
What's
between Death Stars?
How
many years between Death Stars?
that one and that one? Right?
Mm-hmm. It's short enough that they can't really improve the design that much.
No, and it's short enough they can't get it complete.
Short
So
enough
they focus on the main part first.
Do you think they were starting to build it after they built the first one,
Have multiple Death Stars?
like a Fat Man Little Boy situation?
Yeah, have multiple ones.
Whoa!
One for each end of the galaxy.
So if you do that, you could actually spread out the damage, and it would actually be okay because any resources they used and lost, they could then recoup. Because they had to buy some. They couldn't have just got any of that kind of stuff. Has got to have some kind of civilian input, right? Whether from the refining or the manufacturing or something like that.
Yeah, but that's just payoffs.
What do you mean, just payoffs?
Just pay them off. Keep quiet.
Have
You scatter it so much that they don't know what's going on. I mean, they kept it secret for how long? How long did it take us in Endor to figure out what the hell they were making in that prison? Until you went, oh, that's what that is. I mean, there's 2 or 3 episodes in that prison before you start realizing what all those little things they're connecting up together